just coming off that game, just a game that we obviously had some opportunities and chances, just with the turnovers late in the game, weren't able to capitalize and produce points off that like we wanted to. Nicholls a good football team, and those guys played well and won the game. And plenty of for us to build off of, coach off of, correct off of, going forward. As we said here, and with this week, we have an opportunity to talk to our guys yesterday, and then tomorrow, and just with us, it's about attitude, and having great character through the week and finishing the week, and finishing the season, obviously, with the opportunity to win 7 ball games, is something we're obviously motivated about, and within this room, with all of our seniors and with all of our returners, like I've talked about before, you don't got to look very far to be motivated. Again, about this week, about the direction we're going and the direction that we're continuing to take in this football program.
Coach, was that the most disappointing? Was not capitalizing on those late turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, just because you see them, you get them right there, and you're still battling in the game. It's still an opportunity to get in the game, and we got them, especially on that part of the field. I think is what was so obviously critical about it as well. You're right down in there, and just not able to go produce the points and get the points that we wanted to.
Because with the defense, even in the first half when they were struggling between the 20s, it still seemed like once Nicholls got down into the red zone, you guys were able to hold them to a couple field goal attempts. I think they turned it over on downs once, and then but like a lot of the touchdowns were longer. So was it at least encouraging to see kind of how the red zone defense played?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the one thing I'll go back with the outcome and everything of Saturday, just how our guys battled, throughout it, and just didn't play clean the whole game, but the effort, just how we battled and how we fought, the entire game, was part of that. But yeah, I mean, we were able to, get them down in there, and they got down in the climb down in the red zone, and we were to hold those guys, to a couple field goals, hold them to the, not get a 4th down conversion, being able to get us the ball back. So there was some, positives, obviously from that, what we were able to do right there, stopping them and holding those guys to a couple field goals and also turnovers on down.
Looking this week, Lamar, it's kind of geographically a rivalry, but still kind of building because Lamar, still kind of a program that just came back in the last decade or so. Does it feel at all like a rivalry week? Is it, does it feel like a regular game? I'm sure you've been a part of plenty of rivalries.
Yeah, I mean, just proximity of where us and them are. I mean, just sit right here, this close. And I think it's just kind of natural that rival exists, and through the years, just the game that it's been. Obviously, it sits right here. Obviously, the last couple of years sits right here on the last game of the season. So, definitely, again, just the week we're focused on us. We know and understand what we need to do to go put a 7th win in the win column and finish out the season on a winning note. And just going back to this room, that's what sits in this room, and you got seniors that need to go out on a win, and then you got everybody else that's returning, that needs to be on a 1-game win streak going into next season.
Coach, can you give us some enlightenment on schematically at least, the chunk plays and the inability to keep really known star receivers in front of your secondary? How does that perpetually happen? Is it something schematically? It all points to communication at times, but
yeah, I mean, just got to be just clean through scheme, and just got to be able to go out and execute, and just be productive in what's called, and just we had some mistakes and errors in the game that allow those big plays to happen. That's something that obviously every week we got to go in that we're working to not only lessen but eliminate. That's where we got to do a great job of cleaning that up and being correctable, making sure we're right with our calls and make sure we're right with our execution.
Do you feel though, did you ever go into where these chunk plays were occurring where it was a bad matchup, where your personnel did not match up with that particular guy? Did you see that on film? where, okay, we just simply got beat? Or was it communication and
No, I mean, if you just go through all of it, you know, I mean, at times, you know, they got good players over there making plays, and you know, sometimes we need to, you know, be in a better position or whatnot on it is. I mean, I think there's, you know, it can be a couple of different things, but, you know, we go back, it's just being about, you know, schematically be sound. Put our guys in a situation, you know, where they got the opportunity to make plays, and you know, let's do that. You know, we've had to go in and I know I've talked about it before, and it hadn't been talked about much in a while, but you know, when you're playing with, you know, Andre Sam, who's essentially, you know, the fourth corner, and that guy got moved from safety, so you know, you're playing with a little bit of your depth right now at some of those secondary positions. You know, but when it comes down to it, you know, with us, it's all about us as a football team, and just being able to be really good, you know, no matter what's going on. And you know, that's one thing. We'll go back. Our guys battled. You know, we put ourselves in a hole. We battled back. You know, fought back against a good football team, and you know, put ourselves in a situation. You know, that if we would have done, you know, could have capitalized on a couple opportunities, you know, things might have been different, and they weren't. But that's where you go back, you coach, you correct. You know, and just go back and I talk about our guys battle. That's probably what I talk about that because you were in some of those situations. You know, where some people, you know, some teams might have done that, and you know, I think there's positives to pull from there, especially going into, you know, this last week.
Well, have you talked to them at all about 4 straight losses for Lamar and jumping on them, not giving them hope, kind of keeping them down?
Yeah, no, we haven't talked about that. I mean, it's just us. I mean, we're going to talk about us. We're going to talk about, you know, getting back on path, getting back on track. We're going to talk about us with our attitude, make sure our attitude right, our character's right. You know, making sure our work this week is 100% right. And just like I said, in this room, you're either a senior or you're a returning football player. And so those right there isn't enough, you know, for this football team, you know, to be together and know that everybody in here, you know, we need to walk off, you know, the field with a win on Saturday.
Do you have any worry in the slightest about maybe, I can't say overlooking because it's the last game of the regular season, but maybe looking at the team, looking at the record and taking it for granted?
You know, I mean, no. I mean, not from our standpoint, and not how we're going to approach it, not how we're going to talk about it. And you know, that throughout the season, our opponent's record has not dictated how we work or how we, you know, perform or how we approach the game. And you know, we've known, especially over the last few weeks. I mean, every week is 1 week at a time. And you know, that's what we got to get focused on. That's what we got to continue to get better as we continue to grow and you know, build not only our standard but our culture as well.
This might be a question for after the season, after this game, but you know, going for seven wins in your first year with some of the injuries and some of the headwinds that you've had to deal with, do you feel like you're moving toward with this game toward a successful season? Would 7 wins give you that in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, the first year in a program and just building it and you know, setting the standard high, which has changed the culture, just different areas that we've changed things and expectation wise. Yeah, I mean, when you set at the beginning of the year, you know, a little unknown, obviously about everything. You hadn't even played a football game and been in battle with these guys yet. You know, so you just look back, and I mean, I'll make that, you know, at the end of the year after it's all over, we'll go back and look at that. You know, but again, as we sit right here, I mean, we're pressing into this week and approaching it just like how we have these other weeks before, just really focused on us, knowing and understanding the things we need to be better at, and you know, things that we've done well, we need to go out and do well on Saturday.
To win, you would win 5 of your last 7 games. How important is that going forward and kind of seeing the progress that was made leading into the spring?
Yeah, I think there's positives off that, and I think you can definitely build off that, you know, going forward, and just knowing, you know, just again being through the season and you know, like I've talked to our guys about and our coaches about, you know, until you've been through this whole deal, 365, 24/7, every day is a new day, and you know, just continue to grow and know and understand exactly, you know, what the expectation is, exactly what the standard is, exactly what direction we're going. You know, so there's definitely positive we can build off that, you know, going forward in this program.
You feel
Another-
from a recruiting aspect, this is a pretty big game given the proximity of the schools and two programs. One's on the rise, one's kind of been a traditional powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I think every week that we play, you know, as recruiting wise, where we play, just you know, location wise, I think it's a big deal, and you know, I mean, just where we, you know, recruit, you know, obviously through right here, starting in the state of Louisiana, and then we get all, you know, obviously into Texas. So every week's a big recruiting week for us, whether we're at home or we're on the road playing in these locations where we're recruiting as well. But I think this week falls into just that category. You know, we're recruiting. Obviously, you know, into Texas and into that area, so recruits and student athletes are aware of that and aware of us. You know, so I think it's a positive. You know, that we're over, you know, in that direction into Texas.
Coach, back to that Nichols game, we forgot to ask earlier about the blocking of that defensive lineman, Sully Lachey?
I think it was Lesh.
Lash? That's all over the field.
Yeah, really good
Some
player.
blocking.
Yeah, really good player. You know, really talented player, quick player. You know, I mean, made a lot of plays, and obviously we knew where he was at, and we're aware of him, and I mean, he's a guy who's over his career has done that, and I mean, just you know, talented football player, good player.
What else? All right, Coach. Thanks very much. I just got a note.